Hey guys, what is going on? My name is Gordon Maston and welcome to the Raw Review for August the 29th, 2016. And tonight's Raw... Well, let me calm down, because that intro made you think tonight's Raw was actually a banger. And while it was a middle-of-the-road Raw, holy shit, that Fatal 4-Way main event was everything it was built up to be in the week leading to it. Now, while it was everything leading up to being... While it was everything it should have been, we also got, the inevitable... Roman Reigns, Superman mode, and damn near almost possibly could have been winning the match sequence toward the end, but things didn't work out the way they planned to. And I'm not gonna spoil everything right now, even though my Twitter kind of might. But I have someone here, and it is my sometimes co-host. You guys may sometimes see him on the review, Caleb. And he's also here to talk about this, but we'll get to him in just one second. Tonight, though, because I have been getting a lot of activity on Twitter since I've been doing this, I got to start the shilling. Okay, so these are the retweets on the tweets that I've had tonight, and here they are. You can follow me on Twitter, FightMasterFight. That last T isn't there, and we will run it down if my laptop will stop being a douchebag, and you will. Here we are. And I think I might actually skip it too. So these were the tweets I was tweeting and retweeting to people throughout the night, and this is where we stood here. So while we were going through these, as you were reading, that's what we're doing here. That's what's going on. So follow me on Twitter, FightMasterFight. It's a really good time. We can run down Raw, whether it was good, whether it was bad, talk shit about it, phrase it as if that main event deserved, and go through the good shit, because it was a main event. Oh my god, moment of the year. Not to even shill WWE's bullshit, but OMG moment of the year. That was a Slammy award-winning moment. And you know what? I'm going to throw the camera on now. And we will now get to Caleb. Caleb, welcome back to the show, dude.
Hey, Gordon. Good to be back. What's up, everybody? Yeah, you called me a co-host. I think that's overplaying it a bit, but
I said it's sometimes temporary. I threw a lot of labels on that one.
Temporary. That's definitely underselling it a bit. But I'm here and I'm ready to talk wrestling, and I'm trying very hard to contain my excitement. Being muted for like 2 minutes was extremely difficult.
Look, dude, I'm gonna say this much to you. Raw tonight was okay. I'm not gonna say it wasn't a bad show. That there was too much that happened for me to. You understand where I'm going with this.
You cannot. Don't even.
I'm not gonna go there. But what I will say,
be contrarian right now. We need to be happy. Kevin Owens is champion, baby.
I had to let him do it, people. I had to let him do it. I know he wanted to do it. I wasn't gonna do it. I wasn't gonna spoil it. He had to do it because I know we couldn't wait until.
So, let me tell you something. If you're watching a Raw review and you haven't watched Raw, what the fuck are you doing? Why would you be watching a review? We're not spoiling shit. Guess what? Don't click on a Raw review if you don't want it to be spoiled. Kevin, the world needs to know. I'm ready to scream it from the mountaintops, baby. KO Mania.
This is the excitement I love.
Yeah, I'm bringing it. Reinvented. Holy fuck.
Now, see, we opened the show with the whole Universal title thing, which I honestly thought was a great thing. And I'm fucking glad they had Corey Graves in the ring instead of Byron Saxton.
Yep.
Let me just say that now. And Graves basically starts talking. Rollins cuts him off and basically just starts shitting on everyone. And the funniest part about this is they all accepted it. Like, Seth Rollins like, this is my show. I carry all of this. I will give you permission to talk and you'll take it. And no one denied it until Roman Reigns wanted to have a stick up his butt and ruin the fun.
Yeah.
The banter between Rollins and Owens here had me dying.
Yeah, I'll borrow a phrase from every internet wrestling fan around the world, but Kevin Owens just gets it, man. No, but I mean the guy. Seriously,
it's not hyperbole. That's not saying like Kevin Owens is self-aware. Like the New Day, they're self-aware. Kevin Owens is self-aware, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm saying it's just been beaten to death, but I don't even give a fuck. I mean, holy shit! Like this guy is literally, besides look, like the complete fucking package. And who even gives a shit about that? We live in a world in 2016 where if you're gonna fat shame someone, or it's immature. And you know what I mean? He's not like he's not a gross looking human being. He like his size, like it looks good for him, and that's not like a cop out or caveat. That's the truth. I mean, it works for KO. I mean, it makes him formidable. Like you said with Corey Graves, I'm really happy they decided to go with him as their shill man for that segment instead of good old handsome Squidward. Because I'm fine, dude. I fucking like. I think there's a place for Byron Saxton on the TV. If you would have told me 20 minutes ago that I just fucking watched Kevin Owens win the Universal Championship, that I would be talking about Byron Saxton, I would have called you fucking crazy. But here I am. But I think there's a place for Byron Saxton on WWE TV, but not as a fucking color commentator, man. Like, holy fuck.
Give us Lawler, Cole. Where would we be in a world where I'd be saying, give us Jerry Lawler and Michael Cole on commentary?
Hey, Lawler, heel Lawler was great on SmackDown.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, and dude, okay. Let me just stop. Okay, so this ends up between some banter between everybody except for Roman Reigns, which we're gonna try and silent badass, in which we asked you for 2 years ago, and you did nothing but shove him down our throats to say was Superstar of the Year. I digress. And Roman just ends up beating the shit out of everybody. And then as Cass backs up the ramp and Roman holds up the Universal title, Cass pats his chest like he actually did something.
Yeah.
And can I, we'll get to it when the match comes. But what do you think of the segment, dude?
I like the segment because if they didn't have it, they really generated no intrigue. I shouldn't say no intrigue. Obviously, there was intrigue. It was for the championship, and it was a fatal four-way with 3 of their top stars. But I think this segment went a long way in terms of generating intrigue for it and, getting people amped on it. And I think along with the video packages, too, the Rollins one in particular, and the Kevin Owens one, too, I think they really, really did a good job of kind of structuring the show around this match. Have everything lead up to it and, make it the focal point. There's almost sort of an anxiety in the air in Houston. Like, you can tell there's a lot of angst. Like, people, they were hot all night, and I think a good part of that is because they had something great to look forward to, and there's a lot of ambiguity around what could have happened. And I think that's it. I think that is the key to keeping a crowd hot and to keep it that way the whole night, to structure a show around the main event and make it a main event that's actually interesting. And I think they did a great job with that. This
is why we work, dude. Not only do you give the fan opinion, you also give the what's the word I'm looking for? Not objective. Yeah. The objective opinion.
You are putting me over big time. Guys, I did not pay him to say this. I swear to God. This is coming from Gordon's heart. He might be a smart ass. I'm just reading it now, but he is the most genuine human being in the world. Thank you, Gordon.
You're welcome, dude. Oh, and turn your computer down a little bit. I can hear myself echoing in the background a little bit.
Is that why you complimented me? Because you give it and then you take it away like that?
Oh, I didn't mean to take it away. I'm just saying I could.
Unbelievable. The old give-take method. I thought you were a change man. I thought you were a base there too. I didn't think Seth was the only one. Stand corrected.
Well, I give it, but I take it away from the segment because Roman Reigns stands tall and the entire crowd boos him except for the women who just completely just wet their pants.
That's segue, though. That's segue, Cody.
And from having a really hot segment to making it wet and putting the fire on it, we moved to a match that I expected to be your average Raw match, and it was better than that. Chris Jericho versus Neville.
No broken ankle this time.
Oh, dude, when he slid through into that lion tamer, I almost cried.
Not again.
But dude, I personally, this match was good. This match was way better than I thought. Like, it's funny. Chris Jericho, he can have matches sometimes where he thinks he's not 46 years old, and he has matches where he says, where he feels like I'm not 45 years old and I can keep up with the faster guys, and that kind of kills him in his matches sometimes. But then when he wrestles to his own pace and those guys wrestle to his pace and they can keep up, it's not a bad match by any means, and that's what tonight was with Neville.
Yeah, not at all. See, the thing with Jericho is he is capable of putting on a great match if he can work with someone that is also capable of putting on a great match. That wasn't always the case. Jericho would be able to carry a match himself when he was younger. I know he's a huge DDP yoga enthusiast. I know that helps him a lot, but let's face it, the guy's over the hill a bit. He's mid-40s, so he's not going to be busting out the shit he used to be able to do. But if you get a guy, it takes two to tango. You get a guy that can go with Jericho, he's going to put on. I've said this to you, but dude, to me, there's two golden eras of Jericho. Or the guy's always been gold, but WCW, cruiserweight Jericho. Funniest wrestler ever in my mind. And then now, I think it's incredible that he's having not a swan song, but the best period of his career at this age. It's just incredible. I fucking love Jericho. I can't articulate it other further than that. I just fucking love the guy. He is brilliant, and I'm interested to see the dynamic with him and KO now too. Maybe Jericho will shell out to the Authority.
This better not turn Chris Jericho face. Jericho face.
Dude, I hope not. And I could, where I can't see it, I totally could too, since he's getting over and he has so many catchphrases now, and everyone, everyone laughs and cheers him. I truly hope they do not go that direction.
Dude, let me put it this way: when it comes to Chris Jericho right now, let me articulate how great he really is. I'm reaching for my charger just nonchalantly. Let me just put over Chris Jericho here really quick, because Chris Jericho, before this match with Neville, literally, Neville comes out to the ring, and it's you have to wait for him to get done with his promo. Because Chris Jericho talks in the back with Felipe before the match, and tells him, he asks him, hey, he's like, you know what, Felipe, I'm going to win this match tonight, but he's like, but you know what's going to happen? You know what Neville's going to get? He's like, you know what he's going to get? He's like, it? No, you stupid idiot. What is it? He's like, he's going to get the gift. I love doing this shit, too. The gift of Jericho. Drink it in, man. And just throws the arm over Phillips' face.
Dude, that's the thing about Jericho. He changes it up, too. You know what I mean? He could, rest on his laurels and just become so redundant and become just a catchphrase thing, or a machine. But he reinvent. He goes on saying the guy reinvents himself. He reinvents himself every time he's on TV. But he is constantly changing it up, constantly finding new ways to be funny, much like KO. You know what I mean? And that's why those two are such an amazing pairing, because they're just the most comedically sound guys on the roster. Truly.
Yes, but dude, here's the best part about them. When you do comedy and wrestling, you're just a straight comedy character, it comes off as corny. When you have a serious guy like Kevin Owens and a serious guy like, it's like a Seth Rollins, or not even Seth Rollins, like you said, Chris Jericho, they know how to pull off serious, but yet, let it hang, let it hang all out there, and they can be themselves, which is a funny extension of that. And It's like I've probably given this I've given this comparison off camera, but it's like getting with a girl. If you come in there all nervous and you're coming in there all forward and really trying to heavily weigh your intentions down on her shoulders, it ain't working out. But if you come in there being yourself,
This is an analogy that none of our viewers are going to understand, man.
Listen, man, people have lives, and people know women, and people understand things, and people get these things.
Guys, it's okay. I don't get it either. I don't get girls. It's okay.
Oh my god.
That's why we have wrestling. That's why we have wrestling. We don't need girls. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm a 5'2" player. I get it all. Wrestling.
Yeah.
I kind of have a girlfriend, so I can't. And she might watch it. So. Anyway, my point being with that entire thing, it's like letting it hang all out there with a girl, and then being yourself and being funny, and then she likes you for everything, not just the fact that you're really sweet and you're trying to hammer that into her head.
Yeah.
You see your personality and your extension of who you really are. It's like that with Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. They're really funny, but that's the background layers to them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a bonus. What I said about Kevin Owens being the complete package, the same goes for Jericho if he was, in his prime. I don't want this guy to go away anytime soon, and he's not slowing down in the ring. To the point where he's having bad matches. I hope Jericho, at least 5 more years of Jericho, man. Forget Fozzy. But no, yeah, there's so much great stuff, and I'm so embarrassed now that I was bitching and moaning about Raw for so long, and I still love SmackDown. Now that I've calmed down a little bit from my markout session and can sort of, reevaluate things, SmackDown has still been the consistently better show. And I know that's the overall smart consensus, I guess. But, man, they throw you a bone like this every once in a while, and holy fuck, man. Tonight I have not marked out, and you know how very rarely I like to use that term, marked out. But damn, I never marked out as hard as tonight. It was incredible. Gordon and I did together, actually. I had to call him, and I predicted it, and we had a meltdown together. And I think we both successfully woke up everybody in our house. So my dad will not be too happy when he's waking up off 6 hours of sleep tomorrow morning because I was screaming about oiled up men play fighting in their underwear. You might not appreciate that too much.
I would technically say, Roman Reigns is in the ring, so it's not oiled up, it's watered up men. Thank you very much. But in all seriousness here, we got a lot to move on to here. You want to move on here?
Yeah, we're good. We're good on that segment.
Next up is Bayley and the New Day, and oh my God, Dana Brooke got roasted.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Bayley and the New Day are just hanging out, having a conversation, and then, Bayley completely jacked, London, per se, jacked the, we want some, no, it was Full Sail. One of the two jacked the, we want some New Day, and it translated in, we want some Bayley.
Full Sail invented the, we want some Bayley.
Well, yeah.
And WWE realized they had to capitalize on that.
It's not even WWE. Like, I think the New Day are so, like, once again, the word self-aware, the phrase self-aware comes in to the point the New Day is like, okay, this can't be ours for long, because Bayley's completely just hijacked us. So they just let that one leave, and then they're like, okay, well, we're with Bayley tonight, so let's bring it back. And we want some New Day Bayley, and then we do the whole thing, and then, Dana pops in, and, it was awesome.
Yeah, no, I think this whole segment, I mean, the segment and then just the whole pair up of the New Day and Bayley, I think it was really cute. I think it made a lot of sense. You know what I mean? Bayley's getting a really good chance to let her charisma shine through, and she's had 2 weeks now where she has been able to be comfortable. She had Mick Foley in the ring with her, where she could play off of him, and now she's with the New Day. So, I'm not saying
it was a genius idea.
What'd you say?
The New Day was a genius idea.
Wow, that is a hot take there, Gordon. I think you are the first person to ever make that bold statement.
No, I'm saying putting Bayley with the New Day in general.
Oh, I thought you just said the New Day in general. I was like, what the fuck are you saying? Yeah, you think? No, yeah. No, it really was. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, Dana fit in very well with, it really approached borderline porn vibes with her as a doctor and the old fart segment. That was dangerously close to porn. I think Vince may have been behind that speculation. I digress. But dude, she fit in well with them. She was a potential bullet babe, maybe. I don't know.
Nope. That bullet babe looked way better than Dana. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. But the Too Sweet, though. The Too Sweet, I was like, wow. That was just like a weird moment as a wrestling fan right there. That was like totally like bizarro world. Like Dana Brooke Too Sweeting. That was a moment of reflection right there. A moment where I was like, wow, like where it hit me, like how far we've come in the wrestling world. That where Dana Brooke was Too Sweeting Gallows and Carl Anderson. I was like, wow. You would told me last year that the fucking girl from the Arnold Classic would be Too Sweeting the Bullet Club.
I would have said you're the most retarded men on planet Earth.
Yeah, I would have been like, okay. We got a lunatic, Michael. Gordon Maston is a lunatic.
I can't die, JBL. Anyways, Nia Jax versus Ion. Creative was a bit lazy this week. Nia Jax kills this girl in about 30 seconds, and we're still building to the biggest match in WrestleMania history, Nia Jax versus Braun Strowman.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I'm really enjoying the build to the inevitable monster versus monster match of Nia Jax versus Braun Strowman. Dude, the first few weeks it was
I'm
okay.
sorry, Caleb, you got that wrong. Manster versus Monster, and Braun Strowman is the monster in that.
I'm not like most guys.
Oh god.
Dude, yeah, you know, like the first few weeks it was okay. To kind of have like this parallel like monster squash thing. But the thing was too that they would alternate. You know what I mean? Like Braun would get a week, and then they have Nia.
Oh no, that's they were just doing the past 2 weeks. Other than that, they've been both doing it in the same night.
No, no, I know that's not I mean the first 2 weeks, but man, like it's just like bizarre now. It's like almost like they want you to start. And I know this isn't true, but it's like they almost like want you to start thinking like, holy fuck, are Braun Strowman and Nia Jax gonna fight? Like what? Like
or be a couple. Like, oh, I admire your work. I admire your work. Make out. Oh, that'd be the most creepy thing. And
yo, Vince would, holy fuck, he would bust before he could even get his cock out of his pants to rub one out to that Gordon. I'm telling you, he would love that. Wow. I'm thinking about that for him. Like, wow, that would be great. So don't put that past him. Pencil it in on your fantasy.
It shocks me that WWE does anymore.
If tonight proved anything, it proved that our wildest fantasy booking dreams, like Kevin Owens aligning with Triple H and Triple H turning on Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens winning the championship can happen, then guess what, buddy? Braun Strowman and Nia Jax can have a live sex celebration on Monday Night Raw, baby. Book it now.
So I didn't hear any of that.
Why didn't you hear any of that?
Next is what we had, which is what Caleb here referred to as the porn segment of the night. And now, yeah, and I made a joke on Twitter, if you didn't see the tweet, because I was scrolling by a little fast. I'm like, this all makes sense now. Dana Brooks' boobs are that big, because think about it. Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson are doctors, dude. Think about that.
Yeah, they probably got some silicone
enhance the shit out of her boobs, because I mean, we're all men. We're all men. We like big boobs. And maybe the boobs would take the attention off her humongous ass fucking muscles that are bigger than mine. And Caleb works out on a daily basis, people. I'm pretty sure her muscles are bigger than his.
Wow, that was the most dickish thing I ever did. There goes my short-lived career. I'm sorry, guys. I'm really not a douchebag. I'm sorry. Yes, I am. But yeah, dude, I don't know. I'm more of a personality guy myself, ladies. No, but yeah, no, I don't know. I think Dana's pretty. I think that's beside the point, but she's okay. She's you know, I don't know where I'm going with this, but she's pretty.
Trying to say yourself there, bud.
Yeah, no, but yeah, I mean, match was kind of shitty. I mean, Bayley got the hot tag. That was awesome. They popped big for that. Yeah, Bayley's looking good.
Dude, I'm sorry. They tried to excite people for this match with the whole back-to-back segments, which felt a little NXT-ish, which I get. But at the same time, like you said, okay, this is where I rant, because I've said it on the reviews for the longest, and this is where 3-hour Raws are a problem. Obviously, being 3 hours, I've covered that enough itself. I will always say, no matter what, every week, this is my 3-hour show, my 2-hour show tonight. Make Raw 2 hours again. Beside the point, like I was saying. 6-person tags are the most formulaic thing I've ever seen in today's generation of wrestling as we stand here in 2016. Like the old tag matches, from the SmackDown 6, always so unpredictable. You never knew who was going to win. You never knew when, taxis are arguing if there would be a turn or not. Nowadays, it's always a turn. Like Los Guerreros used to argue, but it was never a turn. It was just a family thing, one up each other, blah, blah, blah. But now it's just the most formulaic thing. Like when the hottest person in the ring gets the hot tag, that's when you know the match is going to be closing in on its end. And then it becomes the most predictable with 2 minutes left. Back then, it was hot tag, hot tag, hot tag, hot. You never knew what was going to happen. The match went back and forth. Nowadays, it's the most horrible formulaic thing ever. I think some agents maybe need to be talked to or fired or something because, dude, this is why the show got boring. This is where the show went downhill.
Dude, what you just gotta accept is that, like, that's gonna be a WWE trope for forever. The six-person tag, dude. I know. I
don't have a problem with the 6-person tag. I have the problem with how formulaic it is. Like even Enzo and Cass matches, like NXT, they worked because like they never really faced anybody of actual importance, and when they did, the matches weren't formulaic, which was never a problem. But the main roster thing that they were doing for a while, hot tag, Cass gets the tag, it's over right there. Like the formulaic was like, oh, I'm gonna jump into this person's arms. I'm gonna try to reach for the tag. maybe back in the day, that tag would have actually been completed. And I actually have seen it completed before. But nowadays, no, I'm going to take you back to their corner. We're going to work you for 5 more minutes. And then just throw you outside the ring, hit a high-impact move when you were going to go to commercial, come back. Where you're going to get beat up for 5 more minutes, then we're going to get the hot tag, then it's going to be over.
Yeah, I think that it's formulaic because I mean, no one on the main roster like really knows how to work them. People coming up, you know what I mean? Like, think about it. Where do you get that sort of experience? It's pretty much only on WWE TV where you're. I mean, obviously, you watch New Japan, you see them do it perfectly. ROH, you see them do it perfectly. But listen, the formula
Underground has it to a science. They have trios championships.
I know.
New Japan.
I know exactly. But in WWE, like, the whole point, it seems, for these, 6-man tag matches, they're either centered around a hot tag just to get one person over, or it's
lazy booking because we can't find 2 different spots on a 3-hour television show for 2 different feuds.
Exactly.
And then later in the night we'll have a pointless match that has no meaning for anything.
Yeah, they want to compress everything into one segment, and that the easiest way to do that is to get a multi-man tag match. And another thing is it's an element to integrate storylines together. You know what I mean? Oh, 2 feuds? There's 2 feuds going on? Great. Or even 3 feuds.
Backstage segment later in the night, and then that'll make fans entry to see the heels get beat up.
Yeah. Put the heels on one team. Exactly. So as much as we hate it, it's going to be a trope and a staple of WWE programming because it's just so easy to go to.
But like I said, dude, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I really wouldn't. I'm just looking for the quality of the match, dude. Like, this is the problem that most people, like, when you see people complain on Twitter, if you're on Twitter during these matches or anywhere, like Reddit, because I know that's your forum for most of these things, you understand. Like, the most reason people complain, like, oh, no, it's just tag matches, either because Kane or Big Show is in it, for one, or 2, no one can work a 6-person tag match in WWE. Like, it's just, it's impossible at this point. The last people who were able to do it to a perfect art was The Shield.
Yeah, I mean, but that's because they were a cohesive unit, and they, you know what I mean? Like, their offense was a combination of all 3 of them. They all brought such an interesting dynamic to they were such 3 different personalities. You know what I mean? Rollins was the high flyer technician. Ambrose was the unstable.
He was the hybrid, dude. He was the hybrid of the 3.
Yeah. He was a hybrid. He was a brawler, and Reigns was the powerhouse. For now, though, 3-on-3 matches, they don't allow guys to get enough offense in just one-on-one. You know what I mean? It's all about the next tag. It's all about, you know what I mean? So there no drama can be built. No drama can be heightened. No, chemistry can get going. Nothing like that, because the 2 same guys are not going to be in the ring for this long enough time to get anything good going.
See, this is my thing too. The Shield was able to keep it fresh. Like, remember how I told you there were the matches where there were multiple hot tags and like you never knew when it was going to end?
Mm-hmm.
Those were Shield matches. Even the Shield, I'll even give you a match here. The Shield versus the Los Matadors and Sin Cara was even entertaining. You knew the Shield was obviously going over, but they kept the match fresh and they kept a good flow to it. With guys like that, and that was a main event, nonetheless. With guys like that on a show like Main Event, they could have completely just like phoned it in and just completely worked safe and not busted their asses for that match. But the Shield, I've seen house show matches on YouTube. The Shield were able to kill that. Like, they were willing to kill themselves over a house show.
Yeah, that's the thing though too. That I feel like there's such a competitive nature between Rollins, Ambrose, and Reigns during the Shield days too. You know what I mean? It was like, these are clearly, this is the cart we're going to tie our horse to here. These are the guys we're going to invest our future in. Let's see which one to put all of our chips behind. So I think there's a competitive edge, and I think they knew that they were destined for greatness. And I mean, Rollins even said it himself. They all had a chip on their shoulder. They all knew, okay, we're going to come in here, fuck whatever anybody else says, fuck what anyone else thinks, we're going to become stars. And they did it. So, they broke down their matches into a science and made it a piece of art. You know what I mean? They made it cinematic almost. It was beautiful to watch unfold. Where now guys do 6-man tag is just a singles match. They're each competing in a singles match, but none of them have enough time to build a story out of it or get enough offense in.
Simply put, 6-man tags in WWE now are either put somebody over or it's lazy booking.
Yeah. Like you said, it can be booked correctly. Obviously, Shield versus Wyatt is a great example. If there's a good storyline in three very different personalities, which I guess isn't the case of the Wyatt, but three very different styles per team. I think it's great, and I think what would be great. I would love to see a 6-man tag when the cruiserweights come up to Raw. To see the cruiserweights do.
Dude, the cruiserweights are gonna know how it's done. These are guys who work. I see 6-man tags in PWG. And, like some of these places where these guys are from, like, Evolve or something like that, I don't shit on it at all. Like, Ring of Honor last year, and this is a very quick example that I don't even mean, like, really spend that much time on. Ring of Honor last year did a Christmas Battle Royal. Like, not a Battle Royal, a Christmas tag match. It was, like, just a Santa's Helper Christmas tag match. Not Santa's Helper, randomly picked Secret Santa Christmas tag match. And it was, like, 6-on-6 or some shit like that, and they made every second of that match count. That is my point. It wasn't centered around one guy. They made every part of it count.
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, it's useless to complain about, dude, because it's just we're being smarky because it's not going to be. I get what you mean. It sucks, and but that's part of being, I guess, smart, or part of watching other promotions and seeing how well things are done there, and then comparing it to WWE. It's like you're going to have a million things you could say. There's going to be obviously a million things WWE could do better, compared to this other stuff you watch, but. I mean, they go back to the well so many times because, it works at the end of the day. And, it's a safe style. And they could do a ton of cool spots, I guess. But they're not going to risk that on a random Raw. You know what I mean? To just dwell on that and just be nitpicky about that is just – to me, it's just not worth it. Because I know it's not going to change. And, when you do get a good 6-man tag, it makes it all that much better. But to just have like – New Japan be a measuring stick, to have Ring of Honor be a measuring stick, it's not fair comparatively for wrestling. But guess what? They have they don't have the WWE does, the storytelling elements, and the personalities, and the diverse gimmicks and stuff. So where you can get nitpicky with WWE, you can also get nitpicky for promotions around the world. But we should move on from this because we've dwelled on this for quite a bit, and we've really derailed off of.
I understand. Okay, so up next is Sami Zayn and Jinder Mahal. All I have to say about this is Sami Zayn is criminally underrated. We don't see selling anymore, selling for weeks and weeks at a time, and Sami Zayn is doing that. And these are the small things that make Sami Zayn criminally underrated, and he beat Jinder Mahal, which is, thank God. That was the only problem I had with him selling the ankle.
Huge win over Jinder Mahal. Jinder Mahal, the Punjabi playboy, Punjabi prince, the Punjabi masterpiece. Oh, God. This guy is destined for greatness. It's fucking buried by that no good fucking ginger, Sami Zayn. Right the fuck off. Nah, dude. You can't even use the word underrated when it comes to Zayn. I think everyone realizes.
You can, because some people slip on Sami Zayn sometimes, dude.
But
like, telling you Sami Zayn has a ceiling in WWE and it's the Intercontinental Championship is a crying shame, honestly.
Yeah, but it's undervalued. It's underutilized. And I know that's that is so cliche to say and corny.
I know there are people who don't appreciate Sami Zayn, dude. I'm sorry. They're just people. There are those people out there.
He's taken for granted. Is more like it. In the current landscape of WWE, he is really forgotten about. But I mean, if underrated were to say, if someone said to you, "Hey, what do you think of Sami Zayn?" It's like, "Oh, he's okay." Like, if you asked anybody, "Hey, is Sami Zayn a great wrestler?" They'd say, "Yeah," within a second, without a shadow of a doubt. Sami Zayn's a great wrestler. So I don't think he's underrated. I do think he's underutilized, undervalued, and forgotten about, and I hope that changes. Because a feud with him, he brings it too. His intensity, man, like in promos and stuff, that is something he is underrated at. His intensity and his fucking charisma, man. And NXT, I think, made him, really refined him and polished him in those aspects.
Well, I'm still going to say, because, okay, you know how we get, okay, let me put it this way, and this is the final argument I make on the point, and I'll just stand if you disagree or not. You know how we get all these new indie guys now, and guys like Nakamura and Joe and all that are still in the spotlight nowadays? People forget, in the landscape of all those guys, there is Sami Zayn. He was one of the original guys who got NXT off its feet, and he's everything he's good at. I feel like people know, yeah, this is Sami Zayn, he's really good. But people don't really take a second to look at, wow, this is Sami Zayn. This guy's awesome. This guy's incredible. Holy shit.
He was also literally the most over person, maybe, besides Bayley, at Full Sail ever. He the most over guy in the history of Full Sail.
Which is what I'm saying, dude. Like, people.
Yeah, I mean, the night that Nakamura debuted, they were dueling Sami Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura chants. I think, like, the thing is, he just once he can deliver on a main event stage, he will solidify himself as a star. And
in the story he rolls best with is that underdog story. I'm telling you now, it will work. And I'm okay if we don't get Nakamura. If we don't get Zayn and Owens at Mania, I'm pretty sure somewhere in the time leading up to Rumble, at some point here, they're gonna tease a Zayn Owens title feud. They have to. They can't ignore that shit. They can't.
Well, if they have Owens hold the title until Mania, which I really hope he does, and I hope he drops it to bed. Well, I don't hope, but I think that's the direction they're going. I think obviously you're going to have a Sami Zayn Owens feud probably somewhere in there. I'm thinking the program for Survivor Series would maybe be Owens versus either Rollins or Reigns, but I think maybe Royal Rumble you could have the Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match, and that would eliminate any backlash about Sami Zayn not winning the Rumble. That'd be a way to have him be in the Rumble and not people not be mad he didn't win. I think obviously, if you're gonna have Kevin Owens have a 6-month title reign here or 8-month reign, you obviously got to put a Sami Zayn match in there somewhere.
Okay, well, I'm glad we got that off our chest.
Mm.
Wow, it's amazing how much more I have to say about things when you're here. This is awesome. Now, the match that I groan over all the time, and then they always have one thing that blows me away. Not always, but the last 2 or 3 times they faced off. Sheamus Cesaro. I always tweet, ugh, Sheamus Cesaro, dude, we've seen this a bunch of times. Like, they're not as bad as I say they are when it comes to their matches. Everybody who watches it already knows. I think the world of Cesaro. It's just I'm so bored by Sheamus. Like you fucking hate him. I don't hate Sheamus. It's just I'm bored by Sheamus. He's a solid in-ring worker. He is a workhorse. I'll give him that. But just like there's nothing about him that excites me. Like you're gonna put Sheamus on my television. It's like, oh my fucking god.
I gotta say I've been really impressed with Sheamus's his promos lately. He's been super funny. He's been he's been creative. But he really just does not do it for me. And like I said, like he's been very, very good on promos lately. He's a funny guy. You can tell he's like genuinely a funny guy, but I mean he's just so bland.
There's a disconnect between himself and what he portrays on TV.
Yeah, it might just be because he's really ugly, and maybe I'm just being a jerk, like subconsciously, and I don't know. But yeah, no, I don't know. I just want him off my TV. Like I just don't think there's a place for him in today's WWE landscape, and that might upset some people. But I think if Vince wasn't around still, I don't think he would be booked as prominently as he still is. I think there's a bunch. I think there's a list of better candidates than Sheamus for Best of 7 series with
Sami Zayn.
And we'll start Sami Zayn with Cesaro. But yeah, no, their matches are they're okay. They're good for a standalone match or maybe a few matches, a couple matches.
Well, as you
they're very good. But for a 7-match series, no way. There's no way. And they're gonna have Cesaro win this, so that means there's gonna be at least 4 more matches. And I can't see why they wouldn't stretch it out to 7. So people are really gonna lose interest.
Unless they change something about these matches fast.
Yeah, you gotta add a stipulation. You gotta add
a stipulation. I'm saying change it up the way you're like. Don't your matches are gonna if they already haven't, they're gonna become formulaic at some point. They really are. No matter how much you change the finish,
dude,
that doesn't matter.
Cesaro matches have this can upset a lot of people. Whatever. He's still obviously like one of the most talented guys on the roster, but like. They have become so formulaic in a way, like where instead he's almost become like a meme. Just uppercut. Like that's all he is, and that's a shame because like I just said, he's the most talented wrestler on the roster, arguably, and he deserves so much better than just have to go out there and make uppercuts and then the spin like his calling card. He's so much more than that.
I'll agree, and I mean, well, not really agree, but I can definitely see where you're coming from there. because I feel like there has been more to Cesaro than that, but he realizes where he can go right or whatever. But we gotta move on here. Up next, Strowman versus Americo. Same thing as a Nia Jax match. Nothing really. Wins with that something. It wasn't the shitty reverse choke slam. If it was, I really wasn't paying attention. My only criticism of Braun Strowman is, God damn it, you take the straps down after you win. You take the straps down after you win. You're supposed to take them down mid-match, dude. Mid-fucking match. Come on, Braun. Get it through your head, dude. Okay, I'm sorry. Caleb, any thoughts? Oh, wow. I think Caleb's internet cut out, I guess. Well, I'll finish this thing from there. Yeah, I gotta finish this thing from here. And Caleb just texted me. Yeah, so his Wi-Fi went out because he told me before this he's having bad Wi-Fi issues. He has bad Wi-Fi issues right now, and yeah, there's that. So, with that being said, we move on, and we now get... Okay, yeah, after the Strowman thing, what do we get? I just completely dropped my notes. Okay, yeah, after the Strowman thing, we get Darren Young versus Titus O'Neil. No. Before that, we got Paul Heyman and Stephanie McMahon. Easy way to summarize this. Paul Heyman got, really Paul Heyman-ish with Stephanie. He was just basically apologizing. The best part about this is when Paul Heyman pulled out $500 in ones. And I'm telling you right now, you better believe, you better believe, if that was 500 in real ones that Stephanie smacked out of this man's hand outside the ring, and it went toward the barricade, you better believe, I'm telling somebody, stick my hands out, stick my legs out, I'm reaching over the barricade, and I'm grabbing this money. You better believe I'm grabbing this money. So, with that being said, and Stephanie accepts Heyman's apology. Heyman's fine is paid, and that's about that. So next we get Seth Rollins, hugging Stephanie in the back, telling her he's glad that, they're doing this and that he gets another chance to become the Universal Champion and all that good stuff. So after this, we get Darren Young, Titus O'Neil. Darren Young wins with I think it was a crucifix pin, and Titus attacks him and Bob Backlund after that. And that's pretty much about that. So next we move on to the main event, the Piece of Resistance. We get Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens versus Big Cass. I'm just letting Caleb know I'm moving on to the main event if he can get his Wi-Fi fixed. Okay, so after this, during this match, this was by far the match of the night. And that itself, I mean, it kind of had to be, right? But the guys who were involved, like when Roman Reigns is around, quality workers like Kevin Owens and all that shit, this has to be the main event, right? So, Roman Reigns, Cass is the first one eliminated because he got hit with a sequence like a Superman punch. He got hit with, a Vada by Rollins, and then a frog splash by Kevin Owens, and that was it for the 1, 2, 3. Now, there was some some other pretty good things in this match, but I have to go into the highlights because this is gone for a little while, and I don't really have Caleb here to analyze and talk with. So I'm just gonna talk about what I liked and what was really good here. So when it seems like Roman Reigns is having his moment and he's gonna win because he's taking out Kev and he's taking out Rollins. Out of nowhere, you hear a huge pop, and before this, there was a stipulation made when Rollins hugged Stephanie and told her he's happy about all this, that no friends or partners would be allowed at ringside, and no one said anything about the game making his return. No one said anything about that. So with that being said, Triple H comes out, pedigrees Roman Reigns, gets payback for WrestleMania, puts him in the ring, 1, 2, 3, and then helps Rollins up, and then brings him over to Kev, and then Triple H pedigrees Seth Rollins, 1, 2, 3. Seth Rollins is turning fucking face, dude. We asked for it for so long. And now at this point in time, all 3 members of the Shield are face. I even have to go back to that to be my first thing. I'll note that in a second. Seth Rollins is the face. Moving over, Kevin Owens is the fucking Universal Champion. Oh my god, dude. Yes. I didn't think Kevin would be the man. I guessed out of everything, I guessed it would have been Kevin Owens. And I probably didn't predict that here, but here are my 2 reasons that I would guess Kevin Owens. One, they had the whole, prediction thing. They had the whole thing where they, the rumor was Finn Balor would have been facing Kevin Owens at Clash of the Champions. And Finn Balor, while he lost his title due to injury, Kevin Owens was still there. So they made Kev the champ. And at some point down the line, we have to get a Zayn versus Owens thing down the line. At some point, we have to, dude. We just have to. Okay, yeah. At some point, we have to get a Zayn versus Owens thing. We have to. So if you guys will excuse me for 1 second, I'm going to try and get Caleb back in here. Give me 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I'm getting Caleb back in here, and we're talking about this. So, yeah, there we go. But with that being said, dude, oh my god, like at some point down the line, we have to get like a Zayn Owens thing. Like, yeah. Okay, I'm letting him know I called. I sent him the invite. So, yeah, at some point, I hope they do tease a Zayn Owens thing. Dude, I'm still alive. I called your thing, dude.
Dude, okay, well, my Wi-Fi's back. Did you call me?
I did call you. I just did.
Okay, hold on. I'm on my email right now. I'm popping up. Oh.
I'll do it again.
We need to get an actual podcast going.
That's a conversation we can get going for after this, dude.
What's that?
That's a conversation we can get going for after this.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
Okay, I'm setting the thing up to call you again.
All right. Let's see if it works this time. I have my email. All right, got it.
Okay. I'm just waiting until you're in. Just wait. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry about the unprofessionalism on my part and Caleb's part here. Huh?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Gordon.
I can hear you, dude.
Yo, can you hear me?
Dude, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm back.
You still hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm good now. I actually didn't have my volume on, and I wasn't going to admit that because it makes me look like an idiot. But oh well. I can't see. Did you turn your camera off though?
Oh yeah, I changed it for a second. Okay, so let me.
Get self-conscious. I get it.
No, I'm not that self. Okay, kind of a little bit, but this is not about me.
I'm kidding.
I was basically just moving on to like I explained everything that happened at this point, the Triple H thing, everything. Floor is yours, dude.
What'd you say?
The floor is yours. The forum is not
Oh,
yours to
wait,
talk about everything
did you go over the main event already?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
So I
Well,
said
first,
from the main event on, the floor is yours.
okay. I would like to issue a public apology about my Wi-Fi going out, and if for some reason it happens again, I'm very sorry. Yeah, so we'll keep it short and sweet on that end. But yeah, so I went into that main event really, really, really thinking that Roman Reigns was going to win, and you can't blame me for that, and you can't teach that. But WWE did teach me to think that Roman was always going to win. So I went in really, really expecting Roman to win. And if it wasn't to be Roman, I thought it was going to be Seth. I figured Cass wasn't going to win. I really thought the final two might be Cass and Roman. Because to be honest, I think I thought perhaps Vince went into like full on panic mode, and he was going to have his big men really shine because he's worried about these small guys getting placed in the spotlight and getting injured. So I thought that's the direction we were heading. As the match progressed and KO pinned Big Cass, I was like, holy fuck. And by that point, it was already a great match. Like, we need to just talk about how great that match was. All things aside, all end aside, that was a very, very great Raw match. And I think it was so great just because in the limited time they had to make a story out of this, they did. And it was compelling. It was awesome. And that opening promo, you asked what I thought about that at the beginning, and I mentioned this, that went such a long way in making this match so special. Because if they threw those four together, sure, it would have got This Is Awesome chance, would have been a great match. But the fact they built a better story than the Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania 2000. And I wish I was fucking kidding. And they did it in the course of one night. So to see that unfold and to see the video packages all intertwining and to see four guys that all have great reason to be in this match and great motivation and great incentive in front of them, see them go at it and believe that any one of them, because I truly believe that any one of these guys could win the damn match. And I think you did too. And, we were not expecting a swerve. I don't think anyone was. You know what I mean? I thought they were just going to crown a new champion and then start building towards the program. So, yeah, when Cass got eliminated, I was like, okay, looking like Roman might win now. I'm speechless. I told Gordon I was zoning out. I barely got any sleep. I was so tired. I was about to pass out, and I saw fucking base Triple H come out. Daddy is home. Very seldom do I call another man daddy, but I will. But, he deserves it. The Ultimate Smart comes out of nowhere, doesn't like your booking, comes out, does something about it, and fucking Ultimate Smart Age came out, fucked up Pedigree Roman, Rollins pinned him. I called Gordon at that point. I got on the phone. I was like, dude, I'm telling you, we were both freaking out. I'm telling you, he's turning around stuff, and KO's going to pin him. Sure enough, I was right. Holy fuck, man. And still, I was fine for this whole podcast, but now just talking about it again is literally getting the adrenaline going, man. I've been back into wrestling for 5 years now, and I'm trying to think the last time I marked this hard. I mean, I marked pretty hard. I thought I marked hard when Ambrose won the title, when he cashed in. Probably the last time I marked this hard is when Rollins cashed in WrestleMania 31, and it was a fraction compared to this.
My last few markouts have been Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins, Dean Ambrose. Yeah, Bryan, Rollins, Ambrose. And, now at this point, Kev.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes, true. Balor on Raw a few weeks ago when he won the number one contendership.
Oh, yeah, Balor too, yeah.
That too. But, yeah, weirdly enough, probably my biggest markout more before this was just when Bryan was only with the Wyatt family for 2 weeks. But when he turned on the Wyatts, he got on top of the cage when he had the concussion, and he got the whole entire arena to chant. Was that in Corpus Christi too? It was in a very marquee city, but they just chanted in unison with him, and he had complete.
Dude, that was a weird road to WrestleMania. Every single crowd was amazing.
Yeah.
Up to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
Without maybe the exception of like Denver, I think.
Yeah. I don't know, but dude, we literally said it too. We were like, "Yeah, fuck SmackDown," and we didn't mean that.
No, I said that. I was like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, fuck SmackDown.
Yeah,
It's
we were
Triple H is getting set in the ring.
seriously.
Well, it's Triple H is getting in
Wrestling
the
is
ring.
awesome. It's fucking awesome. You know what I mean? I woke up, everybody in my house, I'm sure, I was screaming, and I couldn't help it. And, like, it was genuine.
My
And
parent went to work as soon as that stuff's going out, so.
that's
My
why,
cousin upstairs. I might have woke him up, but at this point, I don't care.
yeah. I mean, wrestling. That's why wrestling is so beautiful. It's the only platform, the only entertainment source means where there's so many diverse characters. There's so many potential storylines. There's so many cool things that can happen. And when something awesome does happen that you really want, and a guy that you've been pulling for out of the huge pool of unique and diverse and amazing guys they have, when he finally breaks through and something awesome happens, you freak out, and there's nothing like it. And I told Gordon, this could be the second coming of Punk's title reign, which I missed. That got me back into wrestling, Punk's title reign. And, I mean, damn, I think that people are truly going to see how high Kevin Owens can fly now. And, I mean, I know it's been abundantly clear for a long time how great this guy is. But when he brings this company to new heights, and I'm not over-exaggerating here, this isn't out of excitement. When he brings this company to new heights and is the best champion they've seen in a long time, it's just going to confirm what, you know, all of us have known for so long, that KO's the best thing going, baby. That's it. That's my filibuster. I'll keep it short.
Okay. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, I have a couple of questions for you.
For me,
Yes.
lay 'em on me.
Storyline-wise, how does Triple H fit in? Like, I just seen that there's a video up that we're going to have to watch after, this is over, on the WWE's YouTube page that said, Seth Rollins confronts Stephanie, and it's like 31 seconds, but like he's out there with like his hands cuffed over his face and everything.
Ooh, I'd love to see if he acts heelish. Maybe we should watch that on air. Before we do that, we'll load that up. But yeah, I was saying to you, I don't know what Triple H's motivation would be for this, other than I don't think
I explained it, dude.
I think yours is right. I was like, there's no way this is because Seth and Stephanie have been acting all. You know, they would not stoop to something that stupid. They would not make it over.
You gonna keep cheating on me, Steph?
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I'm saying. It seems that's dumb, but I think, you know, you can see that Rollins disappointed Triple H, but
that's what I was saying. Like Triple H.
When did he recently? He beat Reigns clean. You know what I mean? He almost won the title. I mean, I know he lost to Balor, but
dude. As heel Triple H, you have to really think. The smallest thing will tick him off. Ambrose came out and cashed in on you. There's always a plan B. You should have thought smarter. You should have known that Ambrose would have thought that, and eventually you should have ran out, and you should have never let him get the chance to cash in.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. The thing is, Gordon and I, we fantasy booked this so damn long ago to have KO, to have Triple H turn on Rollins and have KO be like the authorities guy. As much as we all hate the authority and as much as we just wish it would go away, and when, you know, the smoke settles and the dust clears and all this excitement's over, people might bitch and complain about the authority if that's what they're bringing back.
Dude, Stephanie, he shrugged. He gave Stephanie the cold shoulder.
Yeah. See, the thing is, it's like Triple H is like a mercenary because he has no involvement on the authority end for Raw or SmackDown. You know what I mean? It's Triple H, or it's Stephanie and Mick. And I thought it was really interesting when he ripped the title out of Mick Foley's hands and gave him that look. Like, there are just so many storylines coming out of this that we could dive into. It's just incredible. But I think, yeah, he's just going to say, you know, Rollins, I told you there's all right, I'm not going to do a Triple H impersonation. My voice is still hoarse.
My voice is still hoarse for doing the impersonation.
He's going to say, I told you, you know better than anyone. There's always a plan B when your plan A isn't working. So he went and got himself a plan B.
He didn't adhere to that. At this point, he could basically say, you let me down, and Kevin Owens has been proving that he's the future, not you.
Yep. So, yeah, I don't know. I think he would save the Rollins Triple H program for a bigger pay-per-view. I think maybe they will book Owens versus Rollins for the title in one of these pay-per-views and then just have Triple H screw Rollins. I think that's where we're heading.
Dude, Owens versus Rollins, Clash of Champions. Triple H versus Rollins, they're probably going to push it to Rumble. You know they can do that.
Yeah. Triple H is not wrestling on a B pay-per-view ever again, I don't think. So, yeah. I think Triple H will screw Rollins again in that match. I'd love to see where Mick Foley's going with this. Maybe Rollins and Mick Foley are going to side with each other. Because they can't just have Seth come out and immediately be this white meat babyface. You know what I mean? That's not going to work. No one's going to
It's gonna
buy
be the
it.
slow build. Like it's gonna be the slow burn. And
Yeah,
at
yeah.
some point, we're gonna.
There's going to be a reluctancy of him embracing the fans. You know what I mean? There's going to be like, because he has not done anything that would make people like him yet. So I think there's going to be reluctancy.
Does it really matter? Like he'll come out, he'll cut these passionate promos.
Yeah.
Fans will get behind him, and it's not like he already doesn't get cheered anyway. People love Seth as a
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. And when Kevin Owens is going to be totally healing it up, Rollins is going to come out and he's going to cut passionate promos. And this is the time where he can brag and boister, not brag, but, do it, respectfully about how he came back, how he worked his ass off for this company to come back, and how he finally admits that he did it for the people. He got better for the people. You know what I mean? Like, you can tell he always says, like, I didn't do it for any of you. I think he's going to start embracing the people, and there'll be a reluctancy in it, but he'll finally admit.
Dude, he'll say it in more of a low key type of manner, like what? He'll say like in one of these promos, like I worked my way back. Their whole redesign, rebuild, reclaim thing wasn't just some model to put on a T-shirt. No, they wanted to do that because it sounded catchy. My thing was to come back and actually reclaim that championship. While I did that, and Dean Ambrose did screw me at the same time, I worked my way back, and I came back, and then I did what everyone thought I wouldn't do, and I came back and I beat Roman Reigns. And like the way he says that, like I beat Roman Reigns will be the way of saying I came back and did it for you people. I ended Roman Reigns' title reign. I stopped Roman right in his tracks, and I did what I said I would do. And that's when the fans would cheer because everybody hates Roman when he says I beat Roman Reigns.
Yeah. I wonder if there's going to be a reluctant alliance between Reigns and Rollins, too. I wonder if
they're going to tease it, yeah.
Yeah, definitely a Shield reunion, too, with the big pay-per-view. Mount Rushmore versus the Shield. We're going to see it.
Mount Rushmore. Wow.
Yeah. But, dude, yeah, that's what I'm saying. With Seth, it's going to be a slow burn. He's going to not even address the fans for a while. He's just going to come out and cut promos against KO and be pissed off, and then cut them against Triple H and just be pissed. And eventually it'll be a slow burn into his face whatever. He'll be a face. I really think that they're going to build on the whole redesign, rebuild, reclaim thing. He's going to say initially, I did it for me, but we're looking back or realizing, I did it so I could come out and perform for all of you. And I don't think he'll ever become that white meat. You know what I mean? I think it'll be more like when Randy Orton became a face originally. You know what I mean? Seth Rollins is never going to pander. He's still going to act like a cocky and arrogant, I feel, but...
Look, he'll act cocky and arrogant, but, dude, he's going to pander at some point. We all thought when the Shield turned, Ambrose never pander. They're going to make Rollins pander. Ambrose doesn't pander as much.
Yeah.
He'll just, he even said a couple weeks ago when he was, on the whole thing with Ziggler, I don't care about these people. I don't care about the people who say blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, they're with me or not. I don't care.
Yeah, that's true. They do make everyone pander because that's just something scripted.
That's a WWE thing. Like you have to make them feel involved. You have to make.
Well, that's the easiest way to endear yourself to like the kids too, and I guess the casual fans. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, well he's doing it for us. Put on a good show for us. And people are smart now. I think casual fans are smart enough to it now, where they go into the show and it's like, okay, there's gonna be a bad guy that badmouths our local sports team, and we gotta boo him. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, like, it's just like the tropes, like it's cute, like they realize it's part of the show, like they have to do it. You know what I mean? It's like it's tongue in cheek now with like, all right, boo the bad guys, but people go in doing that, and then the good guy says like, oh, I do it for you people, and they're like, yeah, and it works, and that's where it's kind of like carny and like old school kayfabe a little bit, but it's they do it for a reason, but yeah, I mean. I'm so excited about all the implications coming out of this, all the potential storylines. Like, I have not. The last time I've looked forward to a Raw this much was when Seth Rollins turned on the Shield. So that was 2 years and
2.5 ago, almost 3, dude. Almost at this point, no.
No, June 2017 will be 3 years.
Oh yeah, it's 2 years at this
point.
Wow,
we are such fucking nerds. But yeah, wait, where's this video clip? Let's watch. I'm very interested in watching it.
It's on the YouTube page. It's the latest thing they posted. Hold on. Do you want me to turn my sound down or no?
Maybe we should just sign off and watch this.
Well, actually, I had a couple more questions for you after. Well, another question.
Okay, ask me the questions then. Let's do this.
Thoughts on the whole Raw versus SmackDown controversy thing?
Okay, listen. What people need to realize is there will never be a true Raw versus SmackDown. Let me elaborate on that. I think people within the company are going to get competitive. The people that are specifically tied to each brand, if that really is true. If Shane is really only tied to SmackDown, if Stephanie is really only tied to Raw, I think there's going to be competitive nature between those two because, Daddy's watching and Daddy's going to hand over the keys to the kingdom to one of them. But in terms of Vince McMahon giving a shit, one way or another, you're supporting his company. People that think they're sticking it to Raw or they're sticking it to WWE by saying, I'm only watching SmackDown now. Okay,
right. You're still giving Vince money.
He doesn't give a fuck. Yeah, you're still watching a WWE show. That's like the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I'm just watching NXT. Well, guess what, you fucking dork, you fucking smart. You're giving them money. Do you think they care? If you're still going to watch their programming and buy NXT merchandise, pay for the network, do you think they give a shit if they're going to shove Roman Reigns on your throat and you're upset? No. Because you'll still watch NXT and you'll still watch what you like. So it's never going to matter to them. But in terms of, a brand war between the people that are directly involved in each party, yeah, I think Shane and they're going to try and put on a better show than Raw. And I'm very excited for that. Because this week on SmackDown, you have the Miz, Daniel Bryan drama to play off of. You have AJ Styles and Dean Ambrose, that was the biggest news before any of this happened, besides the Miz promo. That was the biggest news, but the fact that AJ Styles is going to be competing for the WWE Championship. Keep in mind, Owens won a title with no prestige. He is almost the longest reigning champion. Actually, I stand corrected. In a week, he will be, because vacant is the longest.
By the time SmackDown ends tomorrow, he'll be the reigning champion.
Nope, vacant will be for another week, Gordon. Vacant is the longest reigning.
They just shit on Finn Balor, dude. That was not even fucking necessary.
Vacant held the title this entire week.
Just completely fuck Finn Balor.
Yeah, I know the first title reign
recovery on your YouTube channel.
Because I was so scared they were doing that because they wanted Reigns to be the first champion. If you want to keep endearing Reigns to people, yeah, have him keep fucking losing. I'm not a guy that hides my feelings about Reigns like a lot of people do. A lot of people walk on eggshells because it's viewed as super smarky and super bitter if you're all on board for the Reigns hate train. I don't care. I'm not gonna act like I don't like something when I don't like it. I don't like Roman Reigns.
Here's the reason I have to do it, dude. You understand, and see, you have the free pass because you're on here every once in a while. I have to come on here.
You have to be impartial. You have to be unbiased. I get that.
I have to come on here and say what the guy did, say what I liked, say what I didn't like. And if I didn't like something that he really did, I can't go off on it. I can just say, this was garbage. I really didn't enjoy it. Roman Reigns is just being Roman Reigns, and that's basically how it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying, yeah. To garner viewership and get people to watch your channel and get people to like you, you have to seem like you're not a bitter fuck. You have to seem like you're unbiased and that you watch the program through a more sophisticated lens than everyone else. I don't care if I look vulnerable. I don't care if I hate somebody. If you don't want to watch or if you don't want to listen to what I have to say or you disagree with me, that's fine. You can, you know what? You can even hate me as much as I fucking hate Roman Reigns. But, you know what I mean? I don't get it. I just say what you feel, man. And the people that are going to watch and the people that are going to listen to you, that's fine. That's what you want. You want to attract a certain audience. I mean, I guess you want to have an appeal to a widespread amount of people, but at the same time, that's how you build a fan base. You can't be like everybody else. And I feel like so many people are, like I said, walking on eggshells with it. It's just what's the point of hiding behind just a fucking a mask for when you clearly have disdain for something? I don't know. I don't know why I'm getting off on a tangent about fucking YouTube vloggers right now. We're just talking about wrestling.
I'm just gonna get back to my feelings on the Raw and SmackDown thing, and then if you want to, this is your decision. We can watch it. We can watch the whole Rollins video and hear that because it could, whatever Rollins has to say, because he's right in Stephanie's face, could have an impact on, not an impact, but it could give us a conversation point before we get out of here.
Yeah.
So let me just give my thoughts in about this. Okay, so the first, what was it, Caleb? I complained about the first 3 weeks of SmackDown.
What'd you say?
I complained about what? I complained about what? The first 3 weeks of SmackDown?
Yeah. And I didn't get why. Because I think it's consistently been the superior show.
Now, see, I just feel like, they've had moments like okay, like because they haven't had a full roster of titles. I feel like there are like some things that they do that like have at this point no meaning. Like yeah, you know they're eventually gonna get this, they're eventually gonna get that. But if I have no emotional investment behind it, like oh this could lead to this could lead to that, I don't have a reason to really like the show. Like I've liked about 80% of the stuff Ambrose has done. I felt like some of his stuff has been a little off. Other than that, like Dean's been a good champion. I mean, but I've had no real gripes about him. Miz has done what Miz is supposed to do. I was there for when he lost to Randy, and I didn't think Randy would really wrestle until SummerSlam again. Just like most of these shows I have felt have been off. Like some of the characters I felt haven't been booked right. American Alpha, and it's just like I still enjoy American Alpha, but they've fallen off with me because one, they lack the personality they had. Two, they don't garner sympathy anymore. They don't have any challenges to overcome because they never lose. It's a problem. Like it's like my Sasha Banks problem. Like I feel like she's somewhat being shoved down our throats just a little bit because they just feel like she's Sasha, she's popular, they want her, but they're not booking her correctly. But at the same time, it's also, you know, like there's no obstacle. And if there's no obstacle and you're just OP as fuck, what reason am I supposed to give a fuck? Like you're gonna win everything. That's the like if you're gonna win everything and be OP as fuck and like fans are just gonna overlook it, then you're hypocrites because you jump on shit when Cena and Roman do the same thing. That's one of my takes. On the women, I'm glad they finally got a championship, and to hear that Nikki Bella might win it pisses me off because Becky Lynch, like why? Because I just feel like they don't like Vince. Like, oh, Becky Lynch she's a good mechanic talent. She can really put on a good match with the girl. And then if we have someone who's better, obviously Eva Marie. Enough said, Eva Marie.
Well, I think the hot program, the program they want to be at the main event level for the girls is Nikki versus Carmella. They clearly. You need to remember who Nikki's boyfriend is, first of all, before you try to rationalize things. Second of all, you also, even without Cena, they love the Bellas. The Bellas are, they're the John Cena of the females, of the women. The thing is, I feel like they're really investing in Carmella a lot. They have high hopes for her. And I'm very happy they turned her heel. As a matter of fact, before her match with Nikki.
Thank God, because it didn't even feel like she fit in.
Yeah, she was literally like they were trying to make her just like a female Enzo, and it just wasn't going to work. She lends herself, like her character lends herself so much more to the heel side, You know what I mean? Like,
dude, she works to put it in a compact package. That character, Princess of Staten Island, my name is Carmella, I'm fabulous. It lends it to Carmella being a bitch. Like, she is so much better as a bitch.
Exactly. No one from Staten Island is a babyface, people. In the real world, that just doesn't work. Everybody from Staten Island is a heel, okay? That is
pricks.
That is non-kayfabe. That's real world applicable right there, guys. Remember that. No, but yeah, it needs to go to Becky, man. Like, seriously, like, everyone wants it. It would legitimize the title. Like,
well, the rumor is the winner of the six-pack challenge is going to be Nikki Bella.
Dude, Nikki Bella is a diva. I'm sorry. She's a diva, dude. She will always.
Stephanie McMahon said to Paul Heyman tonight, this is the women's revolution, and this is not to go to the Paul Heyman segment, but this is the women's revolution. Ha 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 ha. The two girls you want to win the SmackDown Championship are fucking divas. Nikki Bella, yes, Nikki Bella can wrestle, but her entire thing is, I'm going to be fabulous. I want to model the title around the runway. No. You are a goddamn diva. And then there's Eva Marie. Thank God for the fucking suspension because she's not going to make Backlash.
Yeah, I think whoever wins the title probably goes into a program with Eva Marie. That's what I'm saying. If Becky wins, a great program will be with Eva Marie. They already had a little bit of that going, and it's like the women's wrestler versus the anti-women's wrestler, the diva.
Can I agree? Can we agree on for 1 second here?
On what?
Nikki Bella is great to stick into a program with somebody who can really go. And Nikki and Becky as a face versus face thing wouldn't be a bad thing as long as like it turned into like with Dolphin Ambrose was just a women's version of like Becky saying you're what we're trying to get rid of and all that. Like I still love these people. Like just making it clear that she's still a face, but that the Bellas and their style and being divas, they act like divas. They like look at the show Total Bellas, you were Total Divas, and you look at how you portray yourself on that show or on shows. she can clearly distinguish herself as a face. Just she has her own direction she's trying to steer this in.
Yeah, no, definitely. Like, I just think they're trying to get Carmella. That's who's on the hot seat right now. They want to push her as far as they can. They really like her. Her dad worked for the company too. He was an enhancement.
Yeah, no, he was never, but really,
Yeah, he was a joker. But yeah, and I think they're putting some stock in Alexa Bliss too. She got that muscle and fitness cover. Just what I feared is that Becky's not a priority, and the thing is, she doesn't need to be someone you have to build. She's someone where you can put the title on her as the first champion, and she can legitimize it instead of Nikki Bella, who's been out for so long. You know what I mean?
Like,
Nikki
they don't have to look like, they could just do the six-pack challenge and have Becky win. She could lose her next two matches on SmackDown, won't matter, go into the six-pack challenge and still be over.
Wait,
That monumental pop that she got on SmackDown, dude, that was just deserved. Because not being on the show suffocated by by Charlotte and Sasha, is such a good thing for her. Where she can be on her own show and make SmackDown her own. But then when Nikki Bella comes back and they want to give the championship to Nikki Bella, that just puts Becky in the background to me again. I'm sorry.
Are Nikki and Carmella? I should probably know this, but are they both in the six-pack challenge?
Yeah, every woman. Is
Okay, I think that's not elimination, right? It's just
it's one fall wins it all.
Okay. Yeah, dude, I really think they're going to keep Nikki and Carmella, I hope, separate. I really do, though. I think they're going to keep them separate. And if they do that, then they're putting the title on Becky. Back to your point about American Alpha, I wanted to just touch on this. I got a lot of flack on saying this on Reddit, which is the most. I always plug that. It seems like I am not plugging that. The most toxic place for wrestling fans. It's where your wrestling hopes and dreams and opinions go to die. Never share your opinions on there, guys. So don't go there at all. Cling on to your wrestling joy. Don't let it get ruined. But yeah, I said on one of the live threads when SmackDown was on, I said, and how big of an American Alpha fan I was, Gordon. And I guess still am, but how much I love them. Like,
you're basically in the same place as me. You've fallen off on them, but you don't dislike them.
Yeah, because I know how good they can be. When they were heels and they were funny and they had that banter and they had that, they had that charisma.
Before Owens and Jericho, those dudes were the banter boys.
They were great. Now you want to talk about formulaic, you want to talk about redundant, you want to talk about, just the same match every time.
American Alpha.
People were chanting USA at them. Like, no, that's not what they should be. They should not be these little Kurt Angle wannabes, Kurt Angle clones. They need to.
They had a promo where they said, "We're not doing that."
Yeah. They tried to showcase their charisma a little bit when Gable go so sick, but like no, the beauty of that was unscripted. That was just those two working off each other, and that's what got them over, their charisma and their, and their wit and stuff. And they neutered them. They took that away from them, and now they just made them like just super white meat, color, paint by number baby faces.
The only matches they've had that have felt different.
Yeah,
the tag you slaughter the most, the Revival.
Yeah, no, I know. And the thing is, too, American Alpha had so much character, and they have had no chance to showcase any sort of character on the main roster yet. They're still super over because of their wrestling style, which I predicted, which I said. Obviously they put on exciting matches.
Over on the roster, huh, Vince?
What'd you say?
I'm sorry. It was just me being negative. I was just saying wrestling doesn't get you over, huh, Vince? Just continue your point. Don't travel into territory I went into.
On this good cop, bad cop tandem we have going. Okay, I'll be the jaded negative one, but you can live vicariously through me, buddy. As I live vicariously through you with women. Anyway,
I have a girlfriend. Let me just.
You do, dude? No girlfriends. It's gonna ruin our dreams of eclipsing 500 views on YouTube. Come on,
dude. I have 900 views in that. I have 900 views in that SummerSlam review.
Yeah, not with me though. I need 500 views so I can die a happy man.
Okay, bro.
I'm kidding. But so, yeah, American Alpha. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to go off on a tangent about it, but I miss. I guess I'm just upset with what they could be, and how they're not being utilized.
Dude, my point is SmackDown has not been as like while Raw still does have empty segments. SmackDown like Raw has more, segments that are worth more. And I know it's a 3-hour show and it's supposed to be that way, but still, dude, like SmackDown's a 2-hour show and they're supposed to fill every gap of that 2 hours, and you have room to fit every gap of that 2 hours with their roster with things that matter. Like a feud I see a lot of potential in with SmackDown is Kalisto Corbin.
Yeah, that's the thing. In 2 hours, they manage. That's a reason I told you I like it, or I prefer it to Raw, because it's like in 2 hours, in an hour less time, they manage to, progress their feuds way better than Raw does with 3 hours, and do impactful, meaningful stuff, and that's what I appreciate about it.
Don't get me wrong. Let me put it this way: when SmackDown has a segment that's a hit, it's a fucking hit. When Raw has a segment that's a hit, it's a hit. But not in the same impactful way SmackDown. But SmackDown has, okay, let me put it like this. On a 2-hour show, when you have something that's just like, that is not a good thing compared to a 3-hour show where you have something that's, you can look forward to more because it's a longer show and you have more feuds going on. Like, you can just sweep down under the rug for the week. But when that's probably one of your bigger mid-card feuds, it's not a good thing. You can see where I'm coming from.
Yeah. No, I get it 100%. Yeah, when Raw does it big, they do it big. When SmackDown does it big, it's like a collective gathering of just a bunch of like little cool stuff. Where in totally like, okay, that was great, that was a good show. When Raw does something big, it's like they just blow their load instantly on one thing without any sort of warm up, I guess. Well, we are really out of our element here with these women analogies. We're sorry, guys. We're really trying our best. We want to make it seem like we're cool.
Dude, let me just put it this way. Ignoring your woman analogy, let me say this much here. When it comes to SmackDown, I'm so glad Shane didn't say we're going to determine the I'm glad we did the tag team titles this week. The whole tournament thing. That's something that's unique that we don't see anymore. Much tag team title tournaments. That's like I say, NXT-ish thing, because, Shane has more influence over SmackDown, I guess, than Triple H would, because, Raw has felt so Triple H friendly. But SmackDown, nice on the tournament. I'm glad they didn't say we'll determine the six-pack challenge and the women tonight main event Raw, main event SmackDown. I'm glad they wanted to save for Clash of Champions, because that's co-main eventing.
Yeah. Yeah. You're right. And another thing I noticed on both the shows, too, is they've done little things to kind of this is kind of on topic, kind of not, but I mean, on Raw, the backstage interviews, that's really cool. They've started implementing that. The in-ring interviews, backstage segments.
The backstage segments the backstage segments to open up SmackDown.
Yeah, I was gonna say the cold open on SmackDown. That's great. Although it doesn't give you that few minute recap window period where you can turn on the show a little bit late, like at 8:03, and not have missed anything. You gotta be there on time. I have some problems with punctuality, guys. If you haven't noticed, it's why I'm here every 10 podcasts. But yeah, no, SmackDown, the cold opens are awesome, and see, when I was speculating that Vince didn't have total control of SmackDown, which I was wrong about, it was because the writing is so creative and actually funny for the comedy segments. Last week you had the Great Slater segments, the Bluetooth with The Miz, the Rhino segment, the Arn Anderson segment, and then what was another good comedy segment that was on there? The big one that I'm forgetting about.
The Tyler Breeze. Fun.
Yeah, there you go. That was great, dude. We're talking about American Angle, a team that's underwhelming.
American Angle. That shows how much that they've completely changed. Thank you.
Yeah.
Your accidental screw up there shows how much they've changed.
Yeah. I'm not even gonna play that off like I was on purpose. That was an accident. American Angle. How funny would that be if that was their fucking name? American Angle. God. The least intimidating wrestling tag team ever. But yeah, no, Breezango, I fucking love them. Like,
no. Delete.
Febreze. Sorry, I forgot you. That pisses you off. But yeah, dude.
Also call the club. I'm sorry, Roppongi Club.
Okay, I'm not doing that. That's borderline like calling wrestlers by their indie names. Steen won the title tonight.
No, because Roppongi is a place in Japan.
I know, but still, that's to a common wrestling fan. I don't think they'd have any idea what Roppongi is, and
Yeah,
it
so
is
let's
so
think
close.
about it.
It is so closely associated with the Bullet Club now, because that's where they went at the party, or Trent Beretta and Rocky Romero. But
Roppongi Vice, yes, but they are attacking in Japan, and the WWE loves to call out how much that Gallows and Anderson are from Japan. So I think they've given us the permission now to use some of that, which is why I'm using Roppongi Club.
Okay. Well, yeah, there definitely needs to be some sort of noun before the club, instead of it just being the club. But I digress. Let's not preach
Anyway,
this.
yeah, you were talking about comedy segments on SmackDown and how they're actually funny and all that.
No, yeah, I mean that was basically it. It's just like for some reason SmackDown has kind of dedicated itself to being the more, I want to say, entertaining show that isn't so.
Okay. Well, let me put it like this. By no means were the SmackDown show, except for the first week that I was there. Oh my god! But by no means were the SmackDown shows horrible, right? Like
Yeah.
since that one, by no means were they horrible, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you come out of a wrestling show, a 2-hour wrestling show, at that, as a wrestling fan, where they have enough superstars to make enough feuds for 2 hours, and you say, that show was okay, that show wasn't bad, that is not good. It really isn't.
I've never come out of a SmackDown show just saying that wasn't bad though. I'm not just acting like I thoroughly enjoy them, dude. Like I thoroughly enjoy.
I know. I'm saying for me though, like if I say to you that show wasn't bad, they're like, what's your problem? Well, it's 2 hours.
No, dude, I would never say what's your problem. You're entitled to your opinion. That's what I was saying earlier.
I know, but you were like so shocked that I'm like, wait, what?
What I was saying about not liking stuff in wrestling, okay, great. Just because everyone else is doing it, don't conform to just the popular opinion. That's good, And it's not just you being a contrarian. It's just that's genuinely how you feel, and there's no point in hiding it. So,
like I said, SmackDown for me this week was actually good.
Yeah, and for me it was great, and I'm not going to argue with that. That's a lot of subjectiveness in wrestling, obviously. So.
See, this is the good thing for me too. While they now have enough, and by the way, 2 women's matches. That's something I have to highlight for SmackDown. Thank you. You are more progressive than Raw. I do not count Nia Jax matches as another women's match, and that's not a man joke of Nia Jax. That is actually saying it's a squash. That's a separate category.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. So, you want to watch this Seth Rollins video? Because I am really, really eager to watch this.
Yeah, you have school in the morning too, dude.
Yeah, I do have school. I have school in, my class is until 11, but I got to get up early because I got to meet with an advisor. But, okay, I do have school. So we're gonna cut this short after this. Let's watch this video on air. And then...
Okay, hold on. Oh, I gotta add. Hold on.
Do you want to play it so we can both watch it? And we can...
What do you want me to play? What do you want me to do?
Like, have your... What the fuck is it? What is it called? Have your screen be broadcasted instead of your...
I don't think it works very well for video, but it's like a 31-second video, so I think the important part is just hearing what Rollins has to say, right?
All right, I'll play it. I have it loaded on my phone.
At our house, we're always down for more. Case in point.
Well, we can both do it. Like, we can sync it. You heard me?
Yeah, can you hear mine right now?
Yeah, can you hear mine?
What just happened? After everything we've been through, after something your husband. You think for a second I believed it. You were yelling at me. I had no idea that was going to happen. You back off.
Okay.
Wow. So we synced at the same time. I didn't want to say it at that point. But
Very short. They're clearly going to make Rollins a face now. I had some doubts. I thought maybe they might keep him heel for a little bit.
Rollins is definitely going to be a good guy now.
Yeah, no, I mean, from what we can deduce from that short video, yeah. So basically, Rollins walks over to Stephanie, he has his hands over his eyes, and he says to her, "What the hell was that?" He says that, and she says, "I had nothing to do with that. I had nothing to do with that." And she started yelling, and Mick was, first of all, holy shit, Mick Foley is so skinny now, man. Good for him. But okay, beside the point. But yeah, so Stephanie She said, I had nothing to do with that. And Rollins said, after everything we've been through, I can't believe this. And he looked like he was about to cry, and he put his hands over his eyes, and he started walking away.
And she told him to back off, and
yeah.
that's just like he's an emotional mess right now.
Yep. I really hope this opens the door for Rollins to get a new finisher, and he can drop the pedigree.
Breaker.
You know what? Yeah, you know what? Yeah, seriously. Or get rid of the buckle bomb and bring back the.
Dude, it's not. Okay. This is another hot topic I hate to even talk about. The buckle bomb is not dangerous. Sting is 60 years old, and Balor took it wrong. I can name you countless times that he's on the outside of the ring, and no one else has gotten hurt.
Okay, I know. I agree too, but I'm saying if you were to get rid of one of the moves, either that or the curb stomp, the curb stomp is virtually.
You heard Vince, dude. Imitatable.
Yeah, but it's so safe. No one's actually going to do that. I think. What are people going to imitate hoisting their friends up and power bombing them on a fucking steel pole? I don't know. I think the curb stomp is really not that dangerous. I think it was more so the name than anything. It wasn't called the Blackout when he was in FCW.
It was called the Blackout in FCW. It was called the Blackout on the Indies.
Yeah, because it was
smart. But he said that he didn't like this, and they tried to change it to the Peace of Mind.
Yeah, I remember when he was in the Shield, it was called Peace of Mind.
It was called Peace of Mind for a week.
Yeah, for like 1 week. That was when he actually started using it. Okay, but great, fine. Call it the Peace of Mind or call it the Blackout. I like either of those work. Like it was not the name that made it so sweet. It was just a great move. Either bring that back, or just have that superplex in the Falcon. Or that can't be a finisher actually.
But that can be a set. That can be a setup to the Vertebreaker.
What about the Seth Walker?
Kalisto.
True, but I don't know. It's different at the same time.
Phoenix Splash, bro.
I know that's like his super finisher. I think as a babyface, that is what he's going to use. You're probably right. But in terms of a finisher that you can just hit out of nowhere, why not just the super kick? What is it? What is that called?
Avada Kedavra.
Avada Kedavra, yeah. I don't know how I forgot about that. Yeah, use the Avada Kedavra as your finisher. I mean, I know that it doesn't look that devastating, but if after a few weeks you could make it look pretty devastating if you ended some matches with that. Yeah, I mean, I'm good. I think I aired my dirty laundry. I got everything off my chest.
Guys, let me just say this too. When Caleb's on here, expect these to be longer. Other than that, if you can save the times on these, Caleb, I've really started to dim them down lately. Because I used to go at 40 minutes and try and put as much detail in everything as I could. And then I realized by myself, with no one else, that can be pretty boring. And then I realized, make it funny, make it sweet, short, succinct, and people don't like to sit around for longer than a half an hour, so
yeah,
I made these things like 25 minutes to a half an hour now.
I know these things. This becomes more of our soapbox than. I know. I apologize for that. I just want to say I want to plug something that doesn't even exist yet. I'm not really plugging it. I just want to kind of express my
get the idea out there and see what people think.
Yeah, sort of gauge people, see what they would think. So feel free to comment, guys, if you have any interest. Let us know, and be candid about it. Just be honest. We were thinking about starting a actual podcast. That would be uploaded to iTunes. And
that costs money.
No, it's free. I looked into it. There's a way it can be free legally. And if there was a cover charge, then I wouldn't mind paying. But perhaps I need to look into it a little bit more. But we're going to do that and maybe put those out on Wednesday and do just sort of a Raw SmackDown review. So I mean that's pretty much it. It's really, really, really in the preliminary sort of hypothetical phase right now. I just want to see if I can get a gauge of interest out of anyone watching. If you guys would be down for that, and if you guys are, we'll put some more information out there. But I always enjoy doing these, and I think a more sustainable platform, or a more platform where we can reach out to more people, or a more niche platform like that where people will be looking for wrestling podcasts. I think that would go a long way for us and sort of help us spread our wings. So
I have a question.
What's up?
You can record from your computer, right, or your MacBook? Or
yeah. What would happen is we would record from my laptop. We would have microphones. We would hook it up. and then I would have the audio. I would upload that to what the hell? There's a few things you got to upload it to before it goes through iTunes, and it has to get like approved. It seems way more convoluted than it actually is.
Well, while we're doing that, what I would like to do while you do that is, while you're streaming it through that platform, I'd like to stream it through this so we can get the audience there. And then we can bring them there and then also bring a new audience with it. So I can help grow this channel as well. And they can also get a taste of what the podcast would be.
Yeah, exactly. No, the video, I was thinking we obviously have a video, syndication of it like on YouTube still, on your channel. Whereas that won't be separate from the podcast. That would just be a video form of the podcast. But, we're going to have obviously a separate name for our podcast. It's going to be an entirely different entity, but that I think to just upload that to Gordon's channel, the video form at least would be good. But so, I mean, you'd have two ways of catching us, but, if you're on the road or you're on the, whatever, you're commuting and you want to listen to a good wrestling podcast with two handsome, energetic, devoted, informed, intelligent, glorious young men.
No, I won't give in. I won't give in till I'm victorious. I'm sorry, you did it.
Did you see how that was made? You watched the video on that?
Yes.
So great. All right, guys. But, I mean, that's it. You can catch me on Twitter at ccam15. I don't think there's an underscore in there. Just ccam15. Other than that, that's all I have to shill. It was great being here. Sorry about my internet going out. And, let us know what you think about the podcast.
Guys, I appreciate this every time he comes around. I really do. Okay, so remember, like this video if you feel inclined to. Subscribe because I know you feel inclined to. And comment because you hate our faces and you want to say all the meanest things to us in the world. Just smash that caps lock down and just yeah. So do that. Remember to follow me on Twitter, FightMasterandFight, and that Twitter name is so apropos knowing tonight. Just Kevin Owens. The last part of the fight does not have the T. You'll find it immediately. Twitter just make it pop up at some point. You'll see my name, Gordon Maston. Like I said, like this video if you already haven't. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Comment, all that good shit. Thank you guys very much for watching. We do appreciate it, and we will see you guys next time.
So much. Peace out.
See ya!